Okay, so today we are going to start our unit on factoring. So last unit we were multiplying, and this unit we're going to be undoing the multiplication by factoring. So today we are going to be factoring the greatest common factor. And we're going to be using the same boxes that we used last unit, so it's going to look pretty familiar. Draw a line. So we're starting out with the problem 3x squared minus 15x. We want to know what are the factors. So we're factoring, we call it factoring because we're figuring out the factors that multiply to give us 3x squared minus 15x. So first, we need to draw a 1 by 2 box. So we have two terms, and so that's why we need the two boxes. And then we are going to expand each term. So this first term, 3x squared, is going to go in this first box, and then our second term, negative 15x, is going to go in our second box. And now we need to expand. So 3x squared, been doing a lot of expanding, that's 3 times x, and then negative 15x, that expands to negative 1 times 5 times 3 times x. Then we need to circle factors that all boxes have in common. So in this case, we have two boxes. So as long as it's in both boxes, we can circle it, like the 3, because this box has a 3 and this box has a 3. And so if it's in both boxes, that means it gets to come outside. And then is there anything else that's in both boxes? Yes, an x and an x. So 3 and x can come out. So 3x is going to go on that side. And so that was step 4. You're going to write what you circled on the left side of the box. Which is that 3x. Then the next step is you are going to write what is left in each box above it. So we now know what this side is. To get this side, it's going to be whatever is left over in each box. So in the first box, the x is not circled. That means the x is going to go on top here. And then we have a negative 1 and a 5, so we multiply those together, and negative 5 goes on the top right there. So then the last step is to write the factored expression. So 3x squared minus 15x, we know, factors to 3x times x minus 5. So you're doing the reverse of what you did last unit. Last unit, they gave you this 3x and the x minus 5, and you had to find the area, the inside. Now they're giving you the inside, and you have to find the outside. Let's do one more. So say we need to factor 5r to the third power plus 12r squared plus 20r. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to follow our steps up here. So first we need to draw a box. Now in this case, we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So that means we're going to need 3 boxes. I'm going to do a nice big box so that we can see everything nice and clearly. That's step 1. Step 2 says to expand each term. So we have 5r cubed, 12r squared, and 20r. So now we just need to expand those. 5r cubed, that's 5 times r times r times r. 12r squared expands to 2 times 2 times 3 times r. And 20r expands to 2 times 2 times 5 times r. It says to circle factors that all boxes have in common. So let's see, do they all have a 5? This one does not have a 5, so we cannot circle it. R, this one has an R, this one has an R, and this one has an R. So we can circle an R. And 2 and 2, but the first one doesn't, and 3, nope, so it looks like it's just the R's that we can circle. So step 4 says to write what you circled on the left side of the box. And so all we circled was an R, so R is all that's going to go out on the left side. Then we need to write what is left in each box above it. So we multiply everything back together. So we have 5 times r, which is 5r squared. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, times r is positive 12r. And 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 5 is positive 20. That's step 5, and then our last step is to write the factored expression. So we have r times 5r squared, cubed, 5r cubed, oh my goodness, no, 5r squared, this right here, and then plus 12r plus 20. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your assignment. On factoring. So number 1, we have 49n plus 42. So there's two terms, so we are going to need two boxes. Step 2, we need to expand each term. So we have 49n and 42. So we expand. 49 is 7 times 7 is 49 times n, and 42 is 7 times 6. Then we are going to circle factors that all boxes have in common. So again, we're just following the steps on the notes that you just wrote. So they both have a 7, so we're going to circle 7, that's it. So then step 4 says write what you circled on the left side of the box. So the 7 comes out. Then you write what is left in each box above it. So we have a 7 times n, which is 7n goes up here, and a 6 in this box, so a positive 6, and now it's factored. This factors to 7 times 7n plus 6. And let's go ahead and look at 11. So here we have 1, 2, 3 terms, which means we're going to need 3 boxes. And so then we need to expand. Negative 10 expands to negative 1 times 5 times 2 times r times r times r. Negative 20, negative 1 times 2 times 2 times 5 times r times r. So remember, this is what we did. We did a lot of expanding in Unit 6. So I'm going a little quicker because it should be review. And then 25r expands to 5 times 5 times r. Then we're going to go ahead and circle factors that all boxes have in common. So negative 1, but this one does not have a negative 1, so we cannot circle it. This one has a 5, this one has a 5, and this one has a 5. And they all have an R too. R, and R. So the only thing left that it could possibly be would be another 5. But this one doesn't, and either does this one, so that's it. So that means 5 and R come out on this side. Then we multiply what's left and put it above. So negative 1 times 2 times R times R. Negative 2R squared. Negative 1 times 2 times 2 times R. So negative 4R. And then a positive 5 is left. So this factors to 5R times negative 2R squared minus 4R plus 5. And you can always check your work. So 5R times negative 2R squared gives us negative 10R cubed. 5R times negative 4R, that gives us negative 20R squared. And 5R times 5 gives us 25R. So we know we did it correctly. Okay, go ahead and work on this assignment.